he said, سمعت رسول الله يقول كلما خرج قرن قطع أكثر من 20 مرة. I heard him say, every time the people will be cut off more than 20 times. And then he says, حتى يخرج في غرابهم الدجال. Until الدجال appears in their midst. Dajjal appears in their midst. And we have another narration again from Abdullah bin Umar, a similar narration, and another narration is also reported by Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As. And so we see this narration is reported from many different companions. Abdullah bin Umar, Amr bin al-As, and it is treated to be Sahih. One narration is Sahih, another narration is Hasan. So from this we understand that the Khawarij, the Ahlul Bidah, the people of desires, that they will be put to trial by Dajjal, because it's from their way to follow desires and follow their whims and their desires, so they will be put to trial by this man as Dajjal. And as I said to you, the Khawarij, they appear in every single generation. They are present in our time from the followers of Sayyid Qutb and Hassan al-Banna, and many of these people who are present today from the followers of Osama bin Laden. All of these are the Khawarij. They have the traits of the Khawarij, and from their qualities is Jahl. They have ignorance. They don't have any scholars with them. You ask one of them today, name me one alim, name your ulama, who are your ulama? And they will say Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden is not a scholar, he is a trader. He's a builder who takes bricks and puts bricks. That's his trade. So you ask them, who are your scholars? And they will give you names of people who are not from the scholars. And this is from their, so one of the traits of the Khawarij is that they are juhab. They are ignorant. They are ignorant of the usul of Islam. And they don't have any scholars. In history they never had any scholars, because in history they abandoned all of the Sahaba. And Ibn Abbas came to debate with them. There was not a single companion amongst them. That was their trait in that time. And in every single generation that will be their trait likewise. There's no alim with them. No alim of the Sunnah with them. And so likewise, this shows that they will be put to trial, that Dajjal will appear in their midst. So this then leads us to the descent of Isa alayhi salam at the end of time. And so Isa alayhi salam, he will descend when the tribulation of Dajjal is getting, large and large. So he will come and he will descend in Sham, in Syria, and he will descend at a minaret in the masjid in Damascus. And in this hadith there is mentioned that anyone who smells his fragrance, who is a kafir, he will perish. And he will come and he will follow the Dajjal, he will pursue him. And then what will happen is that Dajjal, when he sees him, he will start melting, like you see salt melting. And he will follow him to the gate of Lud. There is a place mentioned in the Sunnah, Lud. And this is the place where Dajjal will be killed. Now this place called Al-Lud, there's differences as to where is this place. And some people say it is a town on the coast of the Mediterranean. Today it's called Lidda. And some others say, well no, it's actually a mountain in Palestine. And some others say, actually no, it's a gate into Bayt al-Maqdis. It's a gate around Bayt al-Maqdis, and that gate is called Bab al-Lud. Right? And this is the most correct opinion. The most correct opinion is that Dajjal will be pursued by Isa alayhi salam, and he will be around where the Bayt al-Maqdis is, and there is a gate called Al-Lud, Bab al-Lud, and that is where he will be killed. And so the Shaykh also explains that at the same time, the mountain that is called Al-Lud, which is in that same area, it can mean both things at the same time. There's no contradiction. It can mean both things. Not us with that. So what will happen then is that he will be pursued by Isa alayhi salam, and he will attack him with a spear, and he will kill this enemy of Allah, and then he will take his spear within, his blood will begin to flow, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve the Muslims from his tribulation. This is when the tribulation of Dajjal will be finished. It's over by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the hand of Isa alayhi salam. But as soon as Dajjal perishes, this will now open the door for the next tribulation. And that tribulation is the tribulation of Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. So as soon as Dajjal, or shortly after he is killed, then this door will be opened of the Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. And these are tribes which are mentioned in the Quran. Inna Ya'juj wa Ma'juj mufsiduna fil ard فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. That's what the people said to Dhul Qarnayn. That indeed Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, they create mischief upon the earth. So will you make for us, set up something for us, between them and us, a barrier? And so this is what's mentioned in the Quran. And what will happen is that when they are released and when they come, they will pass by Lake Tiberias, the same lake that was mentioned by Dajjal, and they will pass and they will not leave it until it becomes dry. And then Isa alayhi salam, he will be commanded to go with his followers and go to the Tur, which is in the Mount Sinai. And the Shaykh mentions this Tur Sina, the Mount of Sina, which is in the peninsula between Palestine and Egypt. So then he will go there, and as you know the rest of the story, he will make supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These people will come and they will leave devastation and destruction in every place what they leave behind. And then Isa alayhi salam, he will make dua, make supplication, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send upon the Ya'juj and Ma'juj a pest, a type of insect which is a pest, which will afflict them and kill them. And when they die, then their dead bodies will leave a filth and a mess upon the earth, and then Isa salam, they will call again upon their Lord, and this time they will ask Allah to remove and cleanse the earth of them. So then Allah will send birds this time, birds which are like the necks of camels, meaning they are large birds, and they will come and they will carry this, what is left of the remains of those Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and then they will take them away. Allah will then send down rain, and then will revive and refresh the earth. So the Ya'juj and the Ma'juj will be cleansed, and then after this we come to the conclusion now really is what can a person do, because all of this information that we have is leading to something, and what is that something? It is what can a Muslim do to protect himself from the fitna of Al-Masih al-Dajjal. What can a Muslim do? And so to protect oneself from the fitna of Al-Dajjal, there are many issues. First and foremost is at-tamassuk bil-Islam as-sahih, which is to hold fast to the correct, true, authentic Islam. To make sure that your aqidah is correct and sound. That you have to make sure your aqidah is the aqidah of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. Because there are many aqa'id, many false beliefs, many people of innovation present today. From the Jahmiyyah, Mu'tazila, Ash'ariyya, Maturidiyya, Khawarij, many factions present, Sufiyya, Ittihadiyya. And there is much confusion, ya ikhwan. And so part and parcel of you being protected from Ad-Dajjal is that you are upon the Islam which is sahih. And that Islam which is sahih is the Islam as understood by the Sahaba, by the Salaf. Our understanding of Islam is upon the understanding of the Salaf. That's the first thing that you can do to protect yourself from the fitna of Ad-Dajjal. In fact, there's one thing I forgot to mention in the talk, is that scholars like Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, and likewise Shaykh As-Sa'di rahimahullah, I forgot to mention their narrations, but they explain that the fitna of Ad-Dajjal is of two types. The first fitna is the fitna of the man himself, right? So we're clear about this, the man himself, and his fitna when he comes at the end of time. And there is another fitna which is also from the general type of the fitna of Ad-Dajjal. And this is before he even comes. Right? This is, as they say, from min jinsi fitnatil Masih Dajjal. It's from the general species of the fitna of Dajjal. And this can be found in many different times and places. It is found. And Ibn Taymiyyah gives an example. He says, for example, when you look at many of these Sufis, these Sufis who are deceived by way of the apparent miracles that take place. They see these miracles from their awliya, as they claim. He says, this is from the fitna of Dajjal. Right? Because it's from the same type of species as the fitna of Dajjal. So anything which is deception, trickery, and which involves hawa and whatever, that all of this really is from the jins, min jins fitnatil Masih Dajjal, from the general species of the fitna of Dajjal. And so what we should understand therefore then is that the fitna of Dajjal is really the peak of the fitna. Right? And there are tribulations before that which are paving the way, which are leading the way for the fitna of Dajjal to come, which is the peak and the greatest tribulation. So before that, we see that there are precursors that which exist. There are things which exist before. So in this way, we see that Shaykh As-Sa'di explains this, and likewise Ibn Taymiyyah gives this meaning as well. I forgot to read the narrations because of shortage of time. So we should understand then, in light of all of this, that the first step a Muslim can take to protect himself from the fitna of Dajjal is that you should be upon al-Islam as-Sahih, the sound, correct, authentic Islam, the sound, correct Aqidah, the correct belief. You should have a Salafi Aqidah, not an Ash'ari, Mu'tazili, Maturidi, Jahmi, and any of these other false aqa'id that we see. Person should have knowledge of Allah's names, His attributes, and he should know that Dajjal is a man who eats and drinks, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of food and drink. That Dajjal is a one-eyed liar, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not one-eyed. And that anyone who and that no one will see their Lord up until after he has died. So in other words, Dajjal will claim to be the Lord, yet he is a great liar. That's the first thing, correct sound creed. The second thing is to seek refuge from the fitna of Dajjal as we have been commanded. Remember that the messenger of the companions, ta'awwadu min sharri fitnatil Dajjal. And so in the salah, we do that in the salah, the four things that we seek refuge from. And likewise, in other times, we see that other ahadith which are narrated. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr wa a'udhu bika min fitnati al-masih al-dajjal. This is in the salah. And many other narrations which are like this. The second thing is to seek refuge from the fitna of al-dajjal with that which is in the sunnah. The third thing, which is mentioned by Allama As-Safarini, who said, As-Safarini is a Hanbali scholar, and although we don't really like to quote too often, As-Safarini was a Hanbali scholar who was affected by Ilmul Kalam. We have to tell the people this, that there were many Hanbalis in history who were affected by Ilmul Kalam, historically speaking. And sometimes that influence of Ilmul Kalam can be found in some of their books. And people like Al-Qadi Abu Iyaad was amongst them, Ibn al-Jawzi, strongly affected by the way of the Jahmiyyah, Ibn Aqil al-Hanbali, strongly affected by the way of the Mu'tazila. But our scholars, they have explained these issues about these scholars. And As-Safarini, he has a book on Aqidah, which the scholars have explained, Ibn Taymiyyah and many others, Al-Fawzan. There's many good things in these books that can be benefited from. But just from the point of view of benefit, As-Safarini, he has some things in which he's influenced by the saying of the Ash'aris and the other than them. So anyway, he has some works in general that the scholars have explained because of the benefit in them. So one of the remarks that he makes is, As-Safarini, he says, مما ينبغي لكل عالم أن يبث أحاديث الدجال بين الأولاد والنساء والرجال. That from what is desirable of every alim, every scholar, it is desirable that he spread and distribute the ahadith of Dajjal between the children. Meaning he spread them between the children and the women and the men. In other words, the scholars and people of knowledge, they should spread this information about Dajjal